Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. This video I'm going to do the Clean Slate Tag. I was tagging a video by Gavin at Genre Books 23. I repeat what Gavin said to properly credit the creator of this tag. Here's a Booktube tag originally done a while back by Catalyst Reads. I was tagged by @JustGirlTV. It's about goals in the new year-ish and etc. Sorry for the moments of snark and wobbliness, just being real here. And certainly Gavin is always real, which is great. Anyone who feels this would be fun for their channel is officially tagged. There are 11 prompts. Prompt 1 is, are there any genres that you're going to read more or less of in 2025? Not really a genre exactly. I do want to read more banned books, but that does lead to certain genres. That means it's likely I read more classics, more YA, more LGBTQIA+ books, and more books written by BIPOC authors. The second prompt is, are there any books you have recently read that changed or challenged some of your own philosophies and beliefs? I think the book that did this most for me is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. I've read other decluttering books, but this one just speaks to me, the idea of whether or not something sparks joy. It works best for me. Been doing it for a while because there's a lot of clutter, but it's just, her approach is the one that works best for me. I'm currently reading How to Break Up With Your Phone by Catherine Price, and I don't know if I can truly say that it changes my beliefs. I believe many of us, me included, spend too much time on our phones and other technology. So I already knew that. I come to that conclusion. But it does give an approach to lessen that. So hopefully as I continue the book, it will continue to help me kind of wean myself away from my technology a little bit. Actually, probably hopefully more than a little bit. The third prompt is, who would you recommend for a newbie to watch? There's a couple that come to mind. I would recommend Reading This Life at M-J, because she's just so supportive of booktubers in general, but especially newbie booktubers. And she is one of the two main reasons I started a booktube channel. She had a video which I couldn't find anymore because she does so many, but in this video she suggested that if a person wants to start a booktube channel, they should do so. So that was one of the big reasons I did. And she's just a great person to watch because she's so encouraging. She has a lot of suggestions, not just for newbies, but for experienced booktubers too on her channel. Very encouraging person. The second one is Kevin at Kevin Toll Reads. I recommend him because he's just a very prolific booktuber. He puts out lots of videos. So if you watch him, you can get different ideas of the kind of things you can do. And maybe see what might fit in with your ideas. So I think he would, I wouldn't try to replicate how prolific he is. It'd be very hard to do. But just the variety of videos he publishes to be prolific, you might find some good ideas from. The fourth prompt is, do you have a book bucket list? One thing I've wanted to do for a while is, there's a local independent bookstore, RJ Julia. It has stores in Madison, Connecticut, Middletown, Connecticut. I would like to go there. And there's no reason I haven't. It's not all that far away. I think Madison is maybe less than an hour, but I just haven't done it. The other thing is that I would like to go to some in-person author events. I've gone to a fair amount of virtual events, most of them Barnes & Noble virtual events with authors, but I've never gone to a in-person author event. The fifth prompt is, what is it about Booktube that has surprised you the most? It's just how supportive booktubers are in my corner of Booktube and even other corners, the ones I've seen. Some of the bigger booktubers, that would be those with six-figure subscribers, how they support one another. Not everybody, of course, but I haven't seen anyone that I looked at who snipes at another booktuber, so I'm sure that occurs. I mean, especially at maybe at the top when there's great rewards, but I haven't seen any of it. And even really big ones that I've watched, I haven't got any impression for their videos that they're doing anything of that nature. The sixth prompt is, what are some of your goals? Doesn't have to be Booktube. I mentioned the life-changing magic of tidying up. I want to continue doing the KonMari process until I have the number or the amount of possessions that I'm comfortable with. I get kind of anxious because I still do have too many possessions despite working for a while at doing the KonMari process. I just need to keep going until I get where I want to get. I want to try to continue to push myself to interact with people on Booktube and also on other book-related areas such as Fable, Discord, and Voxer. It's not my nature to comment and put myself out there, but I do find that when I do that, often the rewards are great. So I just have to fight that resistance I have to do it. I want to continue to do so within my abilities, of course. I will never be the loudest voice in the room. That's never going to be me, but I can be a contributing voice. The seventh prompt is, if you could meet, dead or alive, any writer, artist, or magician, who would they be? There's multiple people I like to meet, but there's nobody that necessarily leaps to the fore and say this is one that I, above all others. So I just picked three that I'd like to meet. The writer I'd like to meet is Ali Hazelwood. Strangely enough, I've never actually read any of her books. I read a little bit of one. I do have several. But I've watched at least 2 virtual events with her. She just seems like a fun person. Just like a person would be fun to meet. The artist is Jim Lee. I mentioned in a previous video that I used to collect comics, and at the time Lee was the artist of a comic called Gen 13, which I really liked and collected. He was the head of the company Image, the comic was published from, and he's a long-time executive at DC Comics. I think he's actually the head of DC Comics now. But it'd just be cool to talk his journey through the comic industry. And the musician is Selena Gomez. I actually did meet Selena Gomez. I had a paid meet and greet once, and she was very nice. She hugged you when you went up to her without you asking. She was just very welcoming. But the reason I like to really talk to and get to know her a little bit is she's a rare celebrity who seems to have a great circle of friends, because things don't get known about her that they would typically get known about other celebrities. And I just like to see a person who inspires such loyalty from her friends. The eighth prompt is, would you rather have your life written by your favorite author or be portrayed in a movie by your favorite actor or actress? I would choose my life written by my favorite author. I don't truly have a favorite author. There's a fair amount of them I like a lot, and I've read multiple books from. I guess Yasmin Galenorn would be my favorite author, because I read so many books from her, but I haven't for a while. So the author I'm going to pick for this is T. Kingfisher, and I have no idea whether she would write a memoir, an autobiography. I know it wouldn't be an autobiography about me, but whether she could write a memoir or a biography. But the reason I'm picking her is because the 2 books I read from her, they star 30-ish women, and they're real. They're not. They seem real. They seem like real people. So that's why I pick her. And as far as a movie goes, I don't really have a favorite actor, but I really do like Brad Pitt, and not being modest, but I don't think an attractive guy like Brad Pitt's going to be doing a movie about me, so we're going to go with T. Kingfisher. The 9th prompt is, what are some of the challenges you have overcome or would still like to improve in regards to your channel? The biggest challenge I overcome was really just doing it, put myself out there. There was some technological learning to do, but it's really just being willing to put myself out there. And although some people are unfortunately attacked from the beginning, I don't think I worried so much about trolls as like just nobody caring. Just putting stuff out there and just like nothing, 0 views. And fortunately, even my first few videos, there were a few views, so I never had a video which was like an offer. Some of them still relatively tanked, but none of them were ever offers. So that was the biggest part of it. Another difficulty is just when you edit, seeing yourself as others see you. There are some things that when I saw how it came off were better than I thought, and others that I wasn't aware of that weren't so great. So that's part of it. It's also a challenge for me to being willing to learn as I go along instead of trying to be perfect from the beginning. Just putting stuff out there and trying to improve and get better as time goes by. That's kind of hard for me, but that's what I did. And actually in general, dialing back perfectionism, because if you can't dial back your perfectionism, you're going to take forever on editing your videos. It's just gonna drive you crazy. As far as what I still would like to improve, I've been doing this coming on a year and a half, and I think it's high time I at least look into technological improvements, like creating an actual intro. I don't have one now. Maybe a new outro. Maybe things like transitions, possibly music if I could figure out how to do it without getting copyrighted. At least consider those things. I think it's high time that I look into technological improvements. The 10th prompt is, what advice would you give to someone that is thinking about deleting the YouTube channel? My advice would be, don't do it. If you're tired, take a break. You may get refreshed and come back and step right in. The algorithm doesn't like that, I know, but if it's necessary, most of us aren't making money at this, and it's too easy to treat as a job, so just take a break. I would say that I don't think, well, there's probably specific cases, but in most cases, I don't think people should delete your channel. Even if you're going to stop making videos, I think you should leave them there. You may have people who love your videos so much they're going to go back and view them, and they'll be there for those people. And I would suggest if you do decide to stop making videos, or even if you're going to take a long lapse, that you do a video where you just say that you're going to do. You don't have to say why, that's your business, but just say you're going to do it. Ideally, you'd provide other ways people to keep in touch with you, like your social media, but at the very least, it'd be great if you did a video saying why you're going to stop publishing videos. The 10th prompt is, who do you tag? I'm going to tag a bunch of people. I'm tagging John, Nix, Smitty, Kayla V, Melena, Maeve, Nick, Heather, Brian, Fred, Nicole, Flossie, Justin, Kevin, Nigel, Daniela, Renee, Felix, Elaine, Philip, Cliff, Hannah, and Jen. And I'm also tagging anyone who viewed this video. If you'd like to do this tag, please do so. In all cases, whether I tagged you or if I'm tagging you, if you watch this, if you want to do it, one or more of the prompts in a video or in the comments, please do so. Hope you're having a wonderful reading week. I hope you're having a wonderful week in general. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe. Please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.